name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful.
Welcome everyone to a new episode of the TOEFL PBT structure section. Today we're going to speak about skill number 12, which is using adjective clause connector subjects correctly. Now let me put an example here in order to explain to you what an adjective clause is. Now look at this one. The glass that I put on the table is nice. Now let's analyze this sentence together here. Look, we've got the glass, that's a subject, fantastic. And then we've got is, which is a main verb here. Let's give it another color, that's it. So I've got the glass that I put on the table is nice. Okay, well, that I put on the table, this is what we call an adjective clause. Now let me give it a color, orange, that's nice. Now look at this. The glass that I put on the table is nice. The glass that I put on the table is nice. The glass is nice. Well, the sentence is great. Now, the glass is subject, is a verb, okay, is a verb, and we've got, like the adjective clause. Now inside the adjective clause itself, let's have a look at it. We've got that, which is a connector, and then we've got I, which is a subject, and then we've got put on, which is a verb. Fantastic. So again, we've got that, which is a connector, I, which is a subject, and put on, which is a verb. So this is a kind of the adjective clauses we're talking about today. Now another sentence here, look at this one. The glass that is put on the table is nice. Now we need to analyze this sentence together. Now the glass, what about it? That's a subject. Let's give it red color. Fantastic. And is, that's a verb, and let's give it the right color here. Well, that's great. So I've got the glass is nice, and that is put on the table is what we call an adjective clause, and let me give it a color here. Now look at this. Now what we need to do actually is to differentiate between these two adjective clauses that we see here in front of our eyes. The first one is that I put on the table, but the second one is that is put on the table, which means that in the second one we've got that as a connector, and then we have is as a verb. Now the question here comes, where is the subject? If that is a connector and is a verb, so where is the subject? And the answer is that is a connector and the subject at the same time. That is a connector and a subject at the same time. And this is the main thing that we are talking about in skill number 12. We're talking about adjective clause connector subjects. So sometimes that could be a connector and a subject at the same time, and sometimes that could be only a connector but not a subject, because there will be a subject after it. Now someone might say this, and how can I know if that is a connector and subject at the same time or just a connector? In this case we say that the meaning is very important. It is very important to look at the meaning, okay, and to see if it works or not. Okay, fantastic. Now let me make it clear here. Now imagine and look at the first sentence here, and imagine that we decided to take I away, which is a subject. So can I say the glass that put? It's impossible to say the glass that put. Why? because the glass can't put, because putting is an action that is done by human beings. So I can't say that the glass that put, because the glass is put but the glass doesn't put. Okay, so this is how I know. This is how we know. So this is why we say no, we need a subject here. Fantastic. Okay, so today in this skill we're talking about adjective, clause, connector, subjects. Fantastic. Now let's have a look at an MCQ question here in order to see how we will be asked about this skill in the TOEFL test. Now look at this one. It goes as follows. Okay. Is on the table, has 4 sections. Fantastic. And then we've got A. Got many choices here. Got the notebook. I've got B, the note book, which I've got C, because the notebook, and finally we've got D, which is in the notebook. Well, that's fantastic. So we've got is on the table, has 4 sections, and we've got A, B, C, and D. Number A, the notebook, B, the notebook which, and C, because the notebook, and D, in the notebook. In order to analyze this sentence here, we've got is, which is a verb. Fantastic. So is a verb. And then we've got has, which is another verb, which means that in this sentence we've got 2 verbs. No connector, that's a problem, because we can't have 2 verbs in one sentence without a connector, which means that the notebook is a wrong choice because I don't have a connector. So number A, that's a wrong choice. Let's give it a green color. Okay. And in the notebook, that's also a wrong choice because we don't have a connector, because here we need a connector and we don't have it. But look at B and C. B, the notebook which, and C, because the notebook. So we've got here 2 choices with 2 connectors. Now let's have a look at number 1. Can we say because the notebook is on the table, has 4 sections? We can't say that for many reasons. Number 1, because we studied that before, because there's a connector. When it comes in the beginning, we need to have a comma in the middle, and we don't have a comma here, so that's why we can't take it. Another reason, if I'm going to say because the notebook is on the table, so I need another subject for the verb has. This verb need a subject in this case. But look at this one. The only choice will be the notebook. This is the correct choice. The notebook which is on the table has 4 sections. Let me show you that. Look at this one. Let's write it and read it together. Okay, fantastic. Let's put it back here. Well, that's great. Let's read it together now. The notebook which is on the table has 4 sections. So the notebook here becomes a subject. Fantastic. It becomes a subject. And has becomes like the main verb. Well, that's great. So the notebook has 4 sections. What about which is on the table? Which is on the table, that's an adjective clause. So the notebook has 4 sections, or the notebook which is on the table has 4 sections.